welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Vlogmas video. I'll be honest with you, Vlogmas has exhausted me this year. I've tried really hard to put out videos that I'm really proud of, and it's meant a lot of really late nights editing. And this is not a pity party, I'm just saying it because I think some people don't realise how much goes into editing videos, especially when they're either like really long vlogs. Like, I was stupid. Started off with blimmin' 40-minute long Disney vlogs, and I'm just stupid. It's been really tiring, as well as obviously having to work and try and still have a social life and see family and friends. So we're coming to the end of Vlogmas, and I really just wanted to enjoy like the days around Christmas, and I just wanted to do something super easy. So I asked you guys on Twitter if you had any questions for me and I could just answer them in a video. And I'm so happy that you guys are just like sending some little questions along. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it's saving me a lot of time and stress. Sorry if I keep looking down at my phone, but obviously I'm looking at the questions. The first one comes from Charlotte, and she is asking, when you saw Hamilton the second time, did they check your confirmation email? As I know they definitely look at photo ID. Hopefully at this point, I might put my Q&A up today or tomorrow. Hopefully the Hamilton vlog will have already gone up, but if not, it's easy. It's so easy to get into that theatre. It's amazing. Like, not in terms of you could just stroll in, but if you are going to see Hamilton, you really don't need to worry. The queue moved so quickly. Like, I showed as much of the process as I could when I went for the second time. I did print out our confirmation emails just because for me, I wanted something physical to show and just to not be worried about it. Even though you could show it on your phone, that's fine. I wanted something physical, especially because our performance was moved. So we were meant to be on the Thursday matinee, and then we were moved to the Tuesday matinee, which I explain all about in the video. So I wanted something to show them. And I think it does help in terms of just moving the queue along quickly, because they can just see on paper that you're at the right show, you are the person you say you are. I think it's easier. The next questions come from Tony, and the first one is, if you could play a part in any musical, which part would you play? I've always wanted to be Chistery. Chistery would be fun, but the more I think about it, like the way that they have to be throughout the whole show, it's just amazing when you think about it, having to pretend to be a monkey for like, what, 2 and a bit hours. It's mad. I've always thought that if I were to go into musical theatre like as a profession, it's never going to happen, but if I were, then I'd just be really happy being in the ensemble, because I think the sort of camaraderie of being in an ensemble, what I'm about to say makes it sound like I think the ensemble isn't stressful, but you know, if you're a lead character, that's so much pressure. And yes, you do still have pressure in the ensemble, and they do still work incredibly hard. I feel like I'd prefer that feeling of being part of a team and not having to worry as much, but you know, you're always working with people in that respect, like throughout the show. I think I'd be much happier as an ensemble member rather than a lead character. I know it's a cop-out for your question, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm gonna go with. The second question is, have you ever walked out of a musical? And he said, I walked out of Les Mis, bored to death. Oh my gosh. No, I've not walked out of a musical. I've had a musical be cancelled in the interval and decided to not reschedule a trip because I really didn't enjoy it. I can't even remember what the show was called, but it was at the National Theatre, and I'd had a free ticket anyway, so it wasn't like I lost out on anything. I wasn't enjoying the show, and then I thought, I can't be bothered to go and try it again. But for me personally, I feel like you really have to see a musical through. Stuff could happen in the second act that could completely turn you around, and you might actually end up enjoying it. And also, for the most part, obviously I pay for my theatre tickets, so personally I want to get my money's worth. So no, I've not walked out of a musical apart from when it was cancelled, and I probably wouldn't. Because I feel like once you're at the theatre, like you've made the effort to go there, you've obviously paid the money to go in, you may as well see it through and have a like complete opinion of the whole show, if that makes sense. The third question is, what show do you wish would come to the UK/West End? I I feel like I always say this, but I'd really like just new stuff for a little bit. As much as it's amazing to get, especially stuff like Hamilton and other Broadway imports, I want the West End to have more new stuff and for us to be really proud of that and champion it, because I just feel like it's not really happening at the moment and it makes me really sad. The next question comes from Kirsty and she's asking, what is your favourite song, lyric or quote from a musical? The first one that comes to mind is from Wicked, obviously, and it's the line, I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Whenever someone asks me my favourite one, that's the one that springs to mind immediately. Imogen is asking, what do you think about Chicago coming back to the West End? So when I saw this, it was quite late and I was like, oh, are we kidding? I saw the show on Broadway a couple of years ago and I was completely like not really enamoured, taken, thrilled by it. But we didn't have really comfortable seats, so I feel like that contributed to it. Also, the Broadway production is obviously quite old, so I'm willing to give this new version, well not new version, but you know, a new production at the Phoenix a chance. I'm going to go see it. Excuse you. I'm going to go see it to obviously see if a different cast, a different location, a better seating setup changes my mind about the show. It'll be an interesting theatre trip, that's for sure. Imogen's also asking, if you could play Elphaba/Glinda, who would you want to perform with in the other role? Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. So not just if I could play Elphaba or Glinda, but who would you want to perform with in the other role? Whoa, that is such a good question. Oh my goodness. You know what, I thought the other day when I watched Dick Whittington at the Palladium that Emma Williams would make a really great Glinda. So I mean that's just a throwaway thought. I really want to see her as Glinda now. That's such a hard question because I don't want to pick someone that I'm like obsessed with, because then you'd be performing with them and then you'd probably just get distracted by how brilliant they are. Okay, so if I were playing the role of Elphaba, who would I want as my Glinda? I'd probably want either Susie Mathers, or Mathers, sorry, or, oh my goodness, such a hard question. I don't know why, but Chloe Taylor is springing to mind because she was such a fun Glinda. So maybe her, and then if I were to be playing Glinda, who would I want as my Elphaba? Imogen, this question is amazing. I want to hear other people's responses to this in the comments because I think this is such a fascinating twist on the question. Okay, so if I was playing Glinda, I mean it couldn't be Rachel Tucker because I'd be too shook by the whole situation. Probably Laura Pitt because she's my current favourite Elphaba. Let's go with Laura. I feel like I could probably control the fangirl in that scenario. And it's not going to happen, so I don't need to worry about it. And then Imogen's also asking, how many times were you going to Wicked per week at the peak of your obsession? Have you... Oh, and then there's another question. So Wicked peak obsession in 2012, it was Rachel's cast change week. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of the shows. 6 of the shows, I think. Yeah. And then Imogen's also asked, have you ever had tickets to 2 shows on one night? So recently, yes, I double booked myself. Literally this month, I booked tickets for the Barricade Boys at the Other Palace because Rachel Tucker was a guest. And I didn't put it in my calendar, which was really stupid. Always, always, when you've booked something, put it in your calendars. Don't make the mistake that I did. So I did that, and then the Today Tix Cyber Monday sale happened, and I accidentally booked to see The Woman in White on the same matinee. So obviously I couldn't go see The Woman in White because I figured obviously that's a one-off concert, and then The Woman in White I can go to see again, or see. And then for that same evening, I'd booked to see La Soirée, and I ended up at Hamilton. So yeah. Apart from that, that's the only time it's really happened to me. I've been really lucky with not double booking myself actually. Apart from the one time I accidentally booked a trip to Wicked on the day of my sister's wedding. I still feel awful about that. Obviously I went to my sister's wedding. Just to make it clear in case anyone wondered. I went to my sister's wedding. I've got another question from Imogen. Imogen, getting in there with the questions. She said, also, do you intend to see Stomp or any other long-running shows you haven't seen before they close? I haven't seen Stomp, so yes, I will try and see it in January before it closes if I have time. I don't feel like I'll miss out on anything in life if I don't end up seeing it, but I think it would be quite nice to see it before it closes. William is asking, what's your favourite movie musical and do you have plans to see The Greatest Showman? I've not heard or seen, well, obviously I've seen stuff about The Greatest Showman because it's been like really big at the moment, but I've not listened to anything because you know what I'm like, if I haven't heard anything I just won't hear it, so I'll wait. And yes, I probably will go see it if it's showing here. I guess it will be. I've not read anything about it as to where it's going to be showing, when it's coming out or anything. Favourite movie musical, I mean the first one that comes to mind straight away is either Annie or The Sound of Music. So I'm gonna go for those. My friend Fiona is asking, if you could play any part in any musical, who would you play and why? I've already been a cop-out once this video and said I'd be an ensemble member. I find it really hard to think of who like an individual character I would be. I always go back to Elphaba, but then at the same time, screw doing that 8 times a week. So maybe Glinda or maybe Morrible. Morrible would be fun because you just get to be sassy and snarky. Probably Morrible, let's be real. And then if I was a kid, Matilda. Yeah, Matilda. But then still, I'd rather be in the ensemble cast of Matilda purely because of the swings in When I Grow Up. Robert is asking, what did you think of the refurb Victoria Palace? Thoughts on Chicago coming back, so I've already covered that one. So the Victoria Palace, it looks amazing. It's been a long time since I was last in there for Billy Elliot, so I can't really remember a whole lot about what it used to look like. In fact, I was thinking after my second trip to Hamilton the other day, I was like, I really need to go and watch like some of Sam's old Billy Elliot vlogs so I can see again what it used to look like. The auditorium definitely feels a lot different. It feels a lot brighter from what I remember. It's nice. It still stinks of paint. That's the only thing right now. And there's still a couple of rooms that they've not finished in terms of the bars. So there's still work that needs to be done. Robert's also asking anything you're looking forward to in 2018 and highlights/lowlights of 2017. So I did recently just put up a video of like my 17 like good, happy, yay things of 2017. So I talked about that there. The lowest point in 2017 was being headhunted for a job that would have been like the dream and not getting it. And I think I might make a little video at the start of 2018, obviously talking about the stuff I'm excited for. So I'll save all of that for a proper big video. Grace is asking, what's my next theatre trip planned? And I've currently not got anything for the rest of 2017, though I can't promise that I won't make a trip to the theatre in the week in between Christmas and New Year, because we know what I'm like. But the next trip I have is back to the National Theatre. I'm going to see Pinocchio. So that's my first show of 2018, but I do have quite a few things booked in for the start of the year already, which is very exciting. I love having stuff to look forward to. Grace is also asking, what shows need to return to Broadway/the West End? Good question. I would really love to see Ghost again, but I don't think it's been long enough. I think I was talking about this in a video with Sean, that I've not really been into theatre enough, like long enough to have shows that I want to come back already. I'm pretty happy with what we've got right now. As I mentioned earlier, I just want more new stuff. Nothing springs to mind immediately apart from obviously the stuff that we know is coming over and just wanting new stuff. But I'd love to know what you would want to see in Broadway/the West End returning. I'd love to know. I'm always wanting to know people's thoughts about stuff like that, so let me know in the comments below. Grace is also asking, how are you? That's so sweet. Thank you. I'm doing okay. It's been a busy month. I'm tired. I'm excited to not be making a video every day because I'm excited to actually be able to spend time on editing and, well, I have been spending time on editing, but you know, like, more time to film more shots. I miss my time lapses. I've not been able to film like any time lapses this month and it makes me really sad. Yeah, get back to my time lapses and yeah, being able to make stuff that I'm proud of what I've been making this month, but you know, to be able to spend more time and perfect things a little bit. But thank you so much for asking. That's really sweet. How are you? How are all of you? I want to know. Are you excited for Christmas? Or excited for life in general? What you've been up to recently? What's been your favourite thing that's happened recently? That's something that I want to know. My friend Alice is asking, how'd you get so cute? Oh, stop. Cora is asking, what sort of theatre related things do you recommend people who don't have ready access to the theatre to do? I'm too far away from any theatre, so I spend so long just with bootlegs. I get what you mean. This is why in a video, was it my last Q&A? Yeah, I think it was my last Q&A. Someone asked how I feel about bootlegs, and while I don't necessarily agree with them, I think they're a great thing for obviously people that aren't able to get to the theatre. If you're able to watch something of a show, then that is nicer than nothing, isn't it? I mean, it's really great that obviously more stuff is either being recorded and I mean like legally recorded and put online in places. So try and access like PBS over in America. I've not actually tried to access them myself over here. I think it might be a little bit harder for us in the UK. PBS have like documentaries of shows. Netflix has a good selection of either like the film versions of musicals, or I think Shrek is on there, the Broadway production of Shrek, and they've got some also theatre related documentaries, so that. Also books. I know it's not kind of as exciting as watching something, but there are loads of amazing theatre books out there, so to at least feel connected to Theatreland in that way. And honestly, just staying connected with the community, like using social media is amazing. So you can still be excited about things just by chatting to people about it. Also, Theatre Board is a really great website where obviously it's a like a, what's the word? Like a chat board, that's the word. So if you want to chat to people about shows there, that's the best place to do it, I think. And I'm sorry that it's not as easily accessible for you. That makes me sad. Ellen is asking, are you planning on seeing Strictly Ballroom when it comes to the West End? Absolutely, yes. She's also asking, what are your thoughts on Aussie theatre, given what you know? To go along with that, would you ever come to Australia for theatre, aka if Newsy's opened here? I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd love to go to Australia anyway, so that's hopefully going to happen at some point in my life, and obviously I would go to the theatre there, because if you're going to go all the way to Australia anyway, may as well take a little trip to the theatre as well. What are my thoughts on Aussie theatre, given what you know? I still don't know a huge amount about Australian theatre, if I'm completely honest. Obviously, over the course of this year, I have learnt more about Australian theatre than I previously knew, which is awesome. I get a lot of Australian customers at work. I work at a ticket booth, so I know that they have to pay a lot more for their tickets, because they're always saying like, oh my gosh, this price, all these tickets would have cost so much more back home, and so that's always nice. It's nice for me to sell them tickets that are way cheaper than what they're used to. That's nice. That's kind of all I know. I need to be educated. Eleanor is asking, can you do a reaction video to the people who slept in the National Theatre? I think if I did a reaction video to that, I wouldn't be able to put it on YouTube, because I'd just be swearing a lot throughout. I mean, when I was watching it, I was messaging Sean and Olivia about it. It was like explicit, and I don't want to give them any more like attention, because they're just dumb. They're really dumb people, and it's ridiculous that they managed to do that, and it's really, really stupid, and that's all I'm gonna say. Amber is asking, what is your opinion on the older musicals such as Les Miserables and Phantom of the Opera? Also, do you plan on going to see any of them? I've only recently become a huge theatre fan, and I'm planning to see the huge musicals first and want to know if it's worth it. I've seen both of those. I've not seen them in a while actually, because they're just there, and I'm just like, well, if I want to go and see them I can, but you know, I don't need to rush because they're not going to close anytime soon. Out of those two, Les Miserables I prefer, and I do want to go back and see it again soon. I think they're definitely worth seeing. Obviously they are absolute classics, and it's nice to be able to say that you've seen them. Yeah, definitely tick off the big shows first and then explore what the fringe has to offer. I think that's the best way to do it. The last question for today comes from Kaylee, and she's asking, which show would you want Rachel Tucker to do next? Easy question, easy answer. She needs to be cast in The Last Ship. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to those of you who sent me questions. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'd love if you want to answer some of these questions as well. Do answer them in the comments because I love reading through your answers. Sorry I've been slacking on replying to comments recently, but obviously it's been a very busy month. So I'm going to spend some time between Christmas and New Year catching up on all the comments, and I'm so excited. Do give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And if you're not already subscribed and you love theatre, what are you playing at? You should subscribe. Thank you very much. I hope you're all doing really well, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!